Yo, what really went down in Mexico City at Kendrick Lamar's GNX tour stop has fans shook to the core. What was supposed to be just another sold-out stop on a legendary run turned into a jaw-dropping, history-making, and low-key chaotic night that left everyone from die-hard fans to Kendrick's own team scrambling for answers. Now, listen, this wasn't just any performance. This was Kendrick Lamar pulling up to the heart of Mexico and dropping bombshells on that stage, live in front of 60,000 screaming fans. But baby, when the lights hit and that mic dropped, nobody was prepared for what was coming next. We're talking surprise guest appearances, a mysterious woman jumping on stage mid-set, a cryptic freestyle that's being decoded like it was ancient scripture, and a moment of silence that got the crowd dead silent, then roaring louder than ever before. Rumors are already flying. Is Kendrick leaving TDE for good? Did he just diss 3 major rappers in one verse? And who was that woman that had security acting like they seen a ghost? Buckle up, cause what happened in Mexico ain't staying in Mexico. This is the Kendrick Lamar GNX moment that will go down in rap history or tear some things completely apart. So the night started off like any other legendary show. The energy in Mexico City was already on 10 before the lights even dimmed. Fans had been lined up outside the Estadio Azteca since 6 in the morning, wrapped in Kendrick merch, blasting Not Like Us on portable speakers, and waving posters that read King Kendrick, Save the Culture. It was love, pure and electric. The kind of loyalty only Kendrick Lamar commands. But nobody, and I mean nobody, was ready for what he had in store. What happened that night felt less like a concert and more like a live movie unfolding in real time. As the sun dipped and the stage lights hit, Kendrick emerged in a black and red silk outfit, hood up, eyes cold. The opening beat of Element dropped and the crowd lost their minds. But just as the beat transitioned into the heart part 6 inches, that unreleased track only teased in snippets before everything shifted. Kendrick paused, held the mic to his lips, and stared straight into the crowd. No music, no sound, just him. And then he said it. I came here tonight not just to perform. I came here to speak truth. Immediately, the energy turned from hype to tense. Some fans started screaming, thinking it was part of the act. Others held their breath, sensing something was about to explode. Kendrick licked his lips, took a step forward, and dropped a freestyle that had the internet frozen just minutes later. Not only did he throw cryptic shots at 2 unnamed platinum liars, he ended the verse with the line, "Family don't mean loyalty. Some of y'all chose money over morality within seconds." Fan speculation hit the roof. Was he talking about Baby Keem? Was he referencing someone in Teed? Or worse, was this a jab at Top Dog himself? People backstage started panicking. A few cameras cut away, but Kendrick didn't flinch. He moved straight into DNA, performing with such rage it was almost uncomfortable to watch. His voice cracked, his eyes welled up. There was something heavy going on behind those bars, and the audience could feel it. This wasn't just a show, this was therapy. Or war. Then came the moment that truly cracked the night wide open. During the 3rd act, right when Kendrick was transitioning into Mother I Sober, a woman ran on stage, dressed in all white, barefoot, and visibly crying. Security moved fast, but Kendrick raised his hand, stopping them in their tracks. She grabbed his arm, whispered something into his ear, and Kendrick's entire expression changed. Like a ghost had entered his body. He nodded slowly, and the music cut, y'all. Give me a moment. He turned to the crowd. This here is family. And sometimes, family got secrets. The woman didn't speak, just stood there, looking broken. Kendrick wrapped his arm around her and walked her off stage. Fans were frozen. Some thought it was part of the show. Others were convinced it was real. By the time he returned 15 minutes later, his demeanor had completely shifted. I wasn't going to speak on this, Not here, not tonight. But sometimes the truth don't wait for permission. And with that, he performed an unreleased track that's now being called Bloodline Betrayal by fans. In it, he rapped about trust being broken, childhood memories being rewritten, and someone selling him out to industry snakes. He didn't name names, but the lyrics were surgical. Every line hit like a coded confession. And when he said they gave my pain a price tag and told me I should thank them, fans gasped. What's wild is, people backstage were scrambling. There was real tension in the air. One insider posted a now-deleted story saying, "Kendrick going rogue RN. This ain't the settlest?" Another crew member told a fan blog that there had been internal debates for weeks about whether he was going to address the rift, and just when. The dust almost started to settle. Kendrick dropped another bomb. "We got a guest tonight. Someone y'all ain't seen in years." The crowd screamed. Names flew. Was it J. Cole? Dr. Dre? But when the spotlight hit, it was none other than AB-Soul. Yes, Soul Brother number 2, who'd been quiet for nearly a year, stepped onto that stage with a mic in one hand and a duffel bag in the other. He looked serious. He didn't smile. And when he walked up to Kendrick, they hugged, but not like brothers. More like two men who survived a storm together. AB-Soul took the mic and said, "We made promises in blood. Not all of them were kept. But tonight, we start over." And then they launched into a back-to-back freestyle that had fans crying, cheering, and tweeting like the internet was on fire. Bars about loyalty, secrets, betrayals, and redemption flew back and forth like verbal gunfire. It was raw, unscripted, and deeply personal. One bar from Ab-Soul hit especially hard. "I watched you bleed for this. They watched for profit. Now they mad the shepherd turned to profit." That line alone sparked a whole new wave of theories. Was he confirming that Kendrick had been betrayed by Teed? Was this performance their way of reclaiming their narrative? At this point, fans were emotionally drained. People in the audience were crying. Some stood in silence, filming with shaking hands. The energy wasn't just high, it was heavy. But just when you thought the night had hit its peak, it turned out of nowhere. During the final song of the night, a stripped-down version of "All Right Kendrick" paused mid. Ars pointed to the crowd and said, "You, come up here." A young man in the audience, wearing a hoodie with the word "Truth" spray-painted across it, was escorted to the stage. Nobody knew who he was. Fans thought it might be a lucky fan moment. But as soon as he grabbed the mic, it was clear. This wasn't random. He looked Kendrick in the eye and said, "You know why I'm here?" Kendrick nodded. "I am here?" Kendrick nodded. The man turned to the crowd and said, "I'm his brother, the one y'all don't know about." The crowd went completely silent. It was like someone had hit pause on reality. Cameras were shaking. People in the front row were looking at each other like, did he just say what I think he said? Kendrick Lamar's secret brother, the one no one had ever heard of. It sounded unreal, but Kendrick didn't deny it. He didn't laugh it off or wave security over. He just stood there staring at the young man like he'd seen a ghost. The man grabbed the mic tighter. His voice trembled, but there was rage buried underneath. "You've been hiding me your whole career," he said. "But I ain't hiding no more." Gasps flew through the stadium like waves. Fans were pulling out their phones, going live, tweeting like their lives depended on it. Within minutes, Kendrick's brother reveal was trending worldwide. But it wasn't just the reveal that had people tripping. It was the pain in his voice. "You got songs about pain, about family, about your mama and your cousins. But what about me, huh? You left me behind in Compton while you built your empire." Kendrick finally stepped forward, slowly, like he was processing it all in real time. "I told you this wasn't the place," he said, barely audible over the crowd. "Not like this." But the brother wasn't letting it go. "Nah, it's exactly the place. 'Cause this is where you built your legend off pain that wasn't just yours." Some people in the audience started tearing up. It didn't feel like a concert anymore. It felt like a family therapy session in front of 60,000 people, with millions more watching online. Kendrick walked away from the mic, visibly shaken. He rubbed his face, tried to collect himself, but the damage was done. The brother, who later introduced himself as Malik, turned back to the crowd. "I ain't here for money. I don't want no fame. I just want truth. You tell the world everything, ... But not me. Why? Kendrick finally turned around, took the mic again, and said, "Because I didn't know how to tell your story without breaking mine." That one line hit the crowd like a punch in the gut. Fans were crying. People in the pit were screaming out love. And online, the internet exploded. Reddit threads were flooding with theories. Some said this was performance art, another Kendrick masterpiece, blending fact and fiction. Others swore it was real. Too raw, too unrehearsed to be staged, and then came another twist. A woman in the VIP section, older, dressed in all black, stood up and started yelling. "Don't believe him," she screamed. "He ain't Kendrick's brother. He's lying." Security moved in fast, but Kendrick waved them off again. He looked at the woman and his face went pale. "Miss Patricia," he said, voice trembling. "What are you doing here?" The crowd couldn't believe it. Miss Patricia, long rumored to be a close family friend who practically raised Kendrick during his teenage years, hadn't been seen publicly in over a decade. And now here she was, throwing fire on an already burning stage. "He's not your brother, Kendrick. He's your cousin's son. Your auntie tried to keep him away from the streets and sent him to live with you. But you couldn't handle the guilt, so you buried him." Fans were losing it. This was beyond rap. This was generational drama unraveling in real time. Malik stepped forward again, face turning red. "That's a lie," he shouted. "You always protected him, never me. You knew I was blood, but y'all threw me away like trash." Kendrick looked completely torn, caught between two worlds. The past he tried to bury and the present that refused to let him breathe. And then, with tears in his eyes, he said, "It's true. Malik is family. Maybe not the way y'all think. But blood ain't always about birth. Sometimes it's about pain, shared pain." The crowd applauded. Some people just stood there, stunned. This wasn't the performance they paid for, but it was something deeper, something real. But just when things started to settle, Kendrick hit them with another curveball. "I wasn't going to perform this song," he said, wiping his face. "But it feels right." And then he performed a brand new track, "Ghosts in the Mirror," an unreleased piece that blended poetic storytelling, spoken word, and straight-up pain in every bar. He rapped about growing up with fatherless boys, about carrying guilt like it was his own child, and about the price of fame when your past keeps pulling you back. In the second verse, he said, "I buried dreams in the same house. I found my voice, told Malik he'd be safe, then left him with no choice." The stadium was dead silent. Every fan was clinging to every word. And as the beat faded, Kendrick looked out at the crowd and said, "You don't get to choose your truth, only how loud you say it." Malik stood next to him, head down, but no longer angry. It was like a weight had lifted, not fully, but enough to breathe. Kendrick hugged him. For real this time. Not like earlier. This was different. This was two broken men trying to stitch together something that never got a chance to grow. The crowd erupted. People were screaming, crying, clapping. Even some security guards were seen wiping their eyes. Then suddenly, the screens behind the stage lit up with a single word. "Chapter 2 begins now." The crowd gasped again. What did that mean? Was it an album announcement? A docuseries? A book? But Kendrick wasn't done. He turned to the crowd one last time and said, "There's more to this story, but some truths gotta come home before they go global." Thank y'all for being here tonight. History don't repeat, it reveals. And with that, the lights cut off. No encore, no goodnight. Just silence. But the drama wasn't over. Backstage footage, leaked just an hour later, showed tensions flaring between Kendrick's team and some surprise guests who had apparently been flown in for the final act. Guests who never got to come out due to the chaos on stage. Word on the street is that one of them was none other than Isaiah Rashad, who reportedly walked off the premises after hearing about the last-minute change. A source close to the situation told one blog Kendrick flipped the script last second. Nobody knew Malik was gonna speak. It threw off the whole production. Some people felt betrayed. Others felt freed. Online, fans were torn. Some praised Kendrick for his vulnerability, calling it the most human moment in hip-hop history. Others criticized the chaos, saying it overshadowed the music and confused the message. But one thing everyone agreed on: something historic just happened. And as the memes, think pieces, and hot takes started flying, people couldn't help but ask, ... as the stadium emptied and the streets of Mexico City buzzed with fans trying to process what they just witnessed. The energy wasn't just electric, it was charged. People weren't talking about the set list or the merch or even the sound. They were arguing over one thing and one thing only: who really is Malik? And what else has Kendrick been hiding? Within hours, fan accounts started deep diving. Screenshots, birth records, old photos from Facebook. Even grainy family reunion videos from over a decade ago. The internet went full detective mode. One thread claimed Malik had actually been spotted backstage at multiple Kendrick concerts over the years. Always in the shadows, never acknowledged. Another thread said Malik had a private SoundCloud under a fake name and had been releasing music about being the forgotten blood. But the real bomb dropped the next morning when a Mexican radio host, who had scored a secret post-show interview with one of Kendrick's close associates, leaked a voice note. In it, the voice, allegedly from someone inside Kendrick's team, said the Mexico show wasn't just a concert. It was a reset, a cleansing. He'd been carrying that Malik stuff for years. It broke his family up. That's why he dipped after Damn. That's why PG Lang even started. Fans were floored. If true, that would mean Malik wasn't just a footnote. He was the trigger that changed Kendrick's whole career path. And the tension didn't stop there. Later that same day, another video surfaced, this one taken just minutes after the show ended. It showed Kendrick backstage, surrounded by his team, pacing back and forth, visibly agitated. In the clip, you can hear him say, "I told him not here." Not like this. But he did it anyway. And now we gotta own it. Someone else off-camera replied, "Yo, Ab-Soul's pissed. He thinks the whole moment got hijacked." We had a plan, Kenny. But Kendrick just shook his head and said, "Okay. Plans don't mean nothing if the truth ain't in them. Plans don't mean nothing if the truth ain't in them." Boom! Just like that, another fracture revealed itself. Not only had Kendrick broken script during the Mexico performance, but apparently, Ab-Soul and others were blindsided, believing they were about to launch a major announcement or rollout, only for Malik to take the spotlight. And then, just when you thought things couldn't get any messier, Malik himself went live on Instagram from an undisclosed location, sitting on a balcony, chain-smoking and drinking from a styrofoam cup. The live quickly climbed to over 300,000 viewers. "I ain't trying to be famous," Malik said. "But y'all need to hear my truth too. I didn't force that stage moment. I begged for a chance to speak. Kenny knew I was coming. He invited me. I ain't crashed nothing." The comment section blew up instantly. Some fans were showing support, dropping heart emojis, and calling him brave. Others accused him of clout chasing, trying to ride Kendrick's name for attention. But Malik wasn't done. Ask yourself why he ain't told y'all about me. Ask yourself why PG Lang don't touch on no real trauma. He built a brand off being conscious. But he ain't conscious of the people he left behind. Then he dropped a small teaser of a track he claimed to have recorded months ago, a dark, moody song with the chorus, "What good is a crown if the castle ain't fed?" It was raw, emotional, and it hit the internet like wildfire. Suddenly, hashtag Malik Lamar was trending. Blogs started calling him the Shadow Brother. One headline read, "Malik Lamar, Kendrick's ghost in the attic, finally steps into the light." And now, the public pressure wasn't just on Kendrick, it was on PG Lang as a whole. PG Lang, Kendrick, and Dave Free's elusive creative company had always been shrouded in mystery. Minimalist videos, cryptic messaging, tight control over branding. But in the wake of the Mexico performance, critics began demanding transparency. Where was Malik in the narrative? Why had PG Lang never addressed Kendrick's deeper personal history? Was the company just another curated illusion? Then came the leaked email. Someone from inside PG Lang allegedly forwarded a confidential internal memo to a media outlet. The memo outlined a damage control strategy titled Project Mirror. In it, executives discussed how to reshape the narrative after the Mexico incident, including possible PR steps like scheduling an exclusive interview with Kendrick, delaying upcoming visuals, and potentially offering Malik a content partnership. One line from the memo set the internet ablaze. Audience perception of Kendrick's family legacy must be redefined before the next phase of rollout begins. Translation: the fans weren't buying the old version of Kendrick anymore, and PG Lang knew it. Meanwhile, more dominoes were falling. Baby Keem, Kendrick's cousin, and PG Lang signee, unfollowed both PG Lang's official account and Malik's page within 24 hours of the performance. Fans noticed immediately. Some speculated Keem felt betrayed by the spotlight being shifted off of him, especially since he was allegedly meant to debut new material in Mexico that got scrapped last minute. One fan tweeted, "Baby Keem really got sacrificed for the Kendrick versus Malik family saga." And that wasn't. All word started spreading that TDE, Kendrick's former label home, was not happy. A known associate of Top Dawg posted a cryptic tweet. "Some bridges don't need burning. They collapse themselves." Fans took that as a shot at Kendrick, suggesting he was severing ties not just with TDE, but with the people who helped build him. Rumors even began swirling that TDE was preparing to release unreleased Kendrick material, songs from the Black Panther sessions, and even leftovers from To Pimp Butterfly in an effort to reclaim some narrative control. But Kendrick remained silent. No tweets, no statements, no uploads. Only a single post to his Instagram story, a black background with the words, "Truth don't need schedule." And just like that, the mystery thickened. Fans were more divided than ever. Was Malik the victim or the villain? Was Kendrick being vulnerable, or was he manipulating public sympathy? And what was coming next? And then, at exactly midnight, 3 days after the Mexico show, a new PG Lang video dropped. No warning, no promo. Just a title: Blood Speaks Louder. In the video, shot in gritty black and white, Kendrick sits alone in a dimly lit room, flipping through an old family photo album. Narration overlays the footage. Some stories don't need a beat. They need breath. I ain't perfect. I ain't pure. But I ain't fake either. What you saw wasn't a breakdown. It was a breakthrough. The video ends with him closing the album and looking directly into the camera. Then, fade to black. No music. No credits, just the final words. To be continued. The release of the Blood Speaks Louder video wasn't just a teaser, it was a declaration. Fans and media alike scrambled to dissect every frame, every word. Some said Kendrick was finally ready to own the full story. Others said it was a warning. The next chapter would be even more explosive. And with social media buzzing like a hive of angry bees, the pressure on Kendrick and PG Lang skyrocketed overnight within hours. Rumors started swirling about a possible new project, something deeply personal. Something that would reveal not just Kendrick's public battles, but his family battles. Insiders whispered that Kendrick was working on a docuseries, a memoir, and maybe even an album all rolled into one. This wasn't just music anymore. This was legacy rewriting in progress. Meanwhile, Malik stayed off the grid for a couple days. No social media, no appearances, no responses. Fans grew worried. Some speculated he'd been pulled into talks with PG Lang execs. Others believed he was regrouping, planning his own move. But then, out of nowhere, Malik dropped a short, cryptic tweet. "They don't know the half. Stay tuned." That tweet lit the internet on fire. Conspiracy theories exploded. Was Malik planning a tell-all? Was he about to drop a diss track aimed at Kendrick? Or was this just another piece in the puzzle? Then came the unexpected. Kendrick posted a video on his personal account. Something rare. No flashy production, no lyrics. Just Kendrick sitting in a small, dimly lit room, looking tired but calm. "I know y'all got questions," he said softly. "And trust me, I'm answering them. But not all at once. Some truths gotta breathe before they hit the surface. Malik is family. Yeah, our story ain't perfect, but it's real. And I'ma make sure y'all hear all of it. Just give me time." The video instantly went viral. Fans flooded the comments with messages of support, love, and prayers. Some still remain skeptical, after all. The drama had dragged on longer than most album ROLOUTS. Then, the biggest surprise of all. PG Lang announced a surprise event to take place in Los Angeles. Tickets were limited. The event was cryptically described as a family reunion and truth session. Speculation went wild. Was Kendrick going to bring Malik and the whole crew together? Was it a peace summit? A new album listening party? Or something bigger? The day of the event arrived and the hype was unreal. Celebrities, journalists, superfans, everyone was buzzing. The venue was decorated with photos from Kendrick's childhood, candid shots of family, handwritten lyrics, and mysterious symbols that fans tried to decode live on social media. The show started with an emotional video montage narrated by Kendrick, showing snapshots of his journey from Compton to global icon. But midway, the scene shifted suddenly. Malik appeared on stage, sitting beside Kendrick, both looking tense but composed. The crowd was silent. Kendrick took the mic first. "I want to clear the air. Malik's story is my story, even if it ain't always been told that way." Malik nodded, then spoke. "I ain't here to fight. I'm here to be seen, to be heard." They talked for nearly an hour. Raw, unfiltered conversations about childhood struggles, broken promises, industry pressures, and the complicated nature of family. Fans were blown away by the honesty. The vibe was equal parts therapy session and confessional. And just when it seemed like they might reach peace, Kendrick dropped a surprise. There's been a lot of talk about loyalty, betrayal, and silence. But it don't end here. He pulled out an envelope, slowly opened it, and said, "This is the contract. Malik's contract." The crowd gasped. It turned out that Malik was officially being signed to PG Lang as an artist, a move that surprised everyone. Some cheered. Others whispered that this was Kendrick's way of making amends, bringing Malik into the fold instead of pushing him away. But not everyone was happy. Baby Keem was notably absent. Insiders whispered about tension between him and Malik that ran deeper than just family drama. A few hours later, a leaked DM conversation between Keem and Ann, unknown contact, suggested that Keem felt betrayed by the sudden spotlight on Malik. The tension bubbled over when a reporter asked Kendrick if this family drama would affect PG Lang's future. Kendrick paused and said, "Family is complicated, but growth is necessary. Malik coming on board is the start of healing, not the end." The event ended with a surprise performance, Kendrick and Malik rapping together on a new track called Bloodline, a hard-hitting anthem about pain, survival, and redemption. After the event, social media was flooded with reactions. Some called it the most transparent moment in hip-hop history. Others warned that the drama was far from over. And it WASN single quotes. Just days later, a mysterious video leaked online, blurry but clear enough to make waves. It showed a heated phone call between Malik and an unknown voice, threatening consequences if Malik went public with more family secrets. The video sparked intense speculation about unseen forces trying to control the narrative. Fans began demanding answers. Who was behind the threats? Was this the real reason Malik stayed silent for so long? And with every twist, the story grew deeper. Kendrick Lamar's GNX Tour Mexico performance wasn't just a concert stop. It was the first act in a saga that would redefine his legacy and expose the rawest, most personal side of a hip-hop legend. What happens next? Will Malik and Kendrick fully mend the past? Will PG Lang survive the fallout? And what will Baby Keem do with his own piece of this tangled family puzzle? One thing is for sure, the world is watching. And the story is far from over. So here we are at the edge of what might be the most intense, emotional, and controversial chapter in Kendrick Lamar's career. From a shocking Mexico City performance that exposed family secrets to the raw, real-time unraveling of a legacy nobody saw coming. This story has it all: betrayals, surprises, emotional breakdowns, and a historic offer to bring Malik into the spotlight. But as the dust settles, the biggest questions remain unanswered. Will Kendrick and Malik find peace after years of silence and pain? How deep do these family wounds go? And what role will the rest of the PG Lang crew, especially Baby Keem, play in this unfolding saga? With leaked threats, backstage tension, and fans desperate for the next move. The drama is far from over now. It's your turn. What do you think about this explosive family drama? Do you believe Malik's story? Is Kendrick the hero trying to heal? Or is there more behind the scenes we haven't seen? And how will this all impact hip-hop's biggest voice moving forward? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your hot takes, theories, and predictions. If you're here for the wildest stories in the rap game, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe for non-stop updates. Hit the notification bell so you're the first to know when part 2 of this saga drops. Trust me, it's going to be even bigger. Remember, in the world of hip-hop, the truth is often stranger than fiction. And here at this channel, we bring you all the drama, tea, and twists you crave. Stay tuned, stay loud, and keep it real.